my horn, and welcome to the Royal Oak Show, and welcome to our co-host, Ken Jeffries. How you doing today, Ken?
Hi there. What a week, let me tell you.
Pretty amazing week. Yeah, along a lot of different fronts. I feel so bad for Michael Avenatti because I feel as if I know him after his 873 appearances on cable TV news. I think most of us have spent more time with Michael Avenatti than with our family members.
Well, you never really know what goes on behind closed doors, you know?
Well, you do know.
So
it's called illegal conduct. That's what goes on behind Michael Avenatti's doors.
Yeah. I'll set it up and you can hit it out of the park.
All right, there we go. And our millennial correspondent, Connor Oakes, how are you?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here, as always.
So we're going to have our Moron of the Week contest a little later. We'll have our Moron number one, and then the second Moron at the end of the show. We'll vote on who the stupidest person of them all is. We love to do that. Let's kick it off with the Mueller report. That's probably the top story.
Yeah.
We had a huge weekend last weekend. I guess it was Sunday when the 4-page summary of the 300. We now know a 300-page report is coming. And I guess it's striking me that people are expending a lot of energy on something they know so little about.
So little information.
Because
total exoneration.
Yeah.
Total exoneration.
That's good. You do a great Nixon
Really
and
good.
Trump.
Hello.
So we know now from Barr that probably around tax day we are going to actually get the full report.
When people are already angriest with the government, perfect.
Right. So some things are going to be excised from the report. We can get into that. But essentially, he's going to try to kick out the door as much of it as possible, he assures us. And so people are still exercised and bloviating and so on about what it says, what it might say, or what the summary says. So I guess that's all we can do until we get it.
Yeah.
But, Connor, you had kind of a different take on the clarification by Attorney General William Barr. I read his clarification of a day or so ago where he said, okay, I had the 4-pager, and now I'm here to tell you that there's going to be a 300-page report that we will be releasing as fully as possible.
Right.
You saw that as him sort of backpedaling.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to
What do you mean backpedaling?
Exactly. I'm not trying to read tea leaves here, but the guy writes this letter that says, here is a summary of the primary conclusions of the report, big picture, what it's saying. Then, after a couple of days, say he maybe takes another look, or I would say maybe a first look at this report, and he's getting a lot of pressure to release it, and they're making the decision about how they're going to release it, and he sends out this other letter in which he specifically says media outlets out there are treating this like it's a summary. That letter that I put out immediately, 48 hours, maybe 36 hours.
Did he put out another letter?
Yeah, well, the first letter he put out, he said, people are treating that like it's a summary of the research that was done and an exhaustive compendium.
He, I think, used the word summary of the principal conclusion.
Yeah, and he clarifies, and I think it sounded like a backpedal where he said, whoa. That's not all there is in there. Of course there's more in there.
Attorneys General don't say whoa.
Unless they're dealing with a horse. Okay, maybe not. Maybe you're right. So, and the public is metaphorically the horse in this scenario. So he's walking this back, and
the horse the public rode in on.
Yeah, exactly. Get out of here. So,
yeah, pretty much.
So I think it really was a walk back. I really think this was him saying, I think I messed up a little bit by sort of. By summarizing it so succinctly and so briefly. Frankly, I think most of that letter that he released right after was written. I don't know. I don't want to say he and Trump in the Oval Office, but
isn't it
was
wishful
written
thinking,
before.
Connor, that there would be that in fact there is solid evidence of obstruction of justice in there.
No,
or collusion. For that matter.
I don't think that there's suddenly going to be a smoking gun that there wasn't before.
Right.
But I do think that given the fact that there is, Mueller's approach, his technique here was to say, I'm not going to make a decision about obstruction of justice, potentially because of what I think in terms of the possibility of indicting a sitting president at all. Maybe it's useless to even go there, right?
Right.
So we're not even going to make a conclusion. We just have a lot of facts. Throw them at the wall, see what sticks. It's up to you, Mr. Barr. That was Mueller's version of examining the obstruction of justice thing. And so if there's a lot of things that all might stick to the wall, Barr might be saying, we came to the conclusions. I gave you a summary of the conclusions that Mueller came to, but I haven't told you all the facts, and I'm going to get you all the facts. And to me, that sounds like a walkback.
I even so, I think right now Trump won.
That's where
he won.
I was going to.
Period. We don't. it's not going to matter. It may not matter what comes out.
And I think he actually won in two different ways. He won big time on the idea of collusion because that was the fond hope. I mean, Fox News lovingly played 50 different versions of folks on CNN and MSNBC talking about how, oh yes, Mueller is the savior, he's going to find collusion. So that's victory number one. I think victory number two, though, might be the fact that there's some squishiness about obstruction means that that will continue to linger. And, for example, Adam Schiff ain't going anywhere.
Right.
The Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee can unanimously say, step down, Mr. Schiff. It just gave him an opportunity
and by the way, he
to
gave
give
a speech,
big speech.
I mean, I've seen it, but this thing has gone viral.
Really?
He gave Schiff gave a speech.
Very impassioned.
It was very impassioned, and I can't go through a chapter and verse.
I do not have a penciled neck, you jerk.
So no, he did a good job.
But Trump calling, and by the way, I know we're jumping around here a little bit, but Trump referring to Adam Schiff as a pencil neck reminded me of Freddie Blassie, the World Wrestling Federation Entertainment now.
Right.
Plus the fact that Trump is very good friends with Vince McMahon and his wife Linda McMahon, who just stepped down this week or is going to step down as head of the SBA, the Small Business Administration.
Really?
Probably coincidentally.
This is consistent with Trump's obsession with nicknames. I mean, it's helped him quite a bit, I think, in terms of of his media outreach. But where I was headed is, I think the fact that the Democrats are not going to let go of the obstruction of justice issue, that they're going to keep after it like a dog with a bone, ultimately, probably there won't be any smoking gun evidence because very likely it won't be in the Mueller report, and the public is going to have Russia fatigue, I think. And so I think it's going to be a little bit like the Clinton situation where the Republicans paid the price for insisting on impeaching that damn president who engaged in the sexual impropriety, and the American public's attitude was, he lied about sex, everybody does, let's move on. Oh, you won't move on? Okay, we're going to clobber you at the ballot box. I think that's what the Democrats risk, as opposed to saying, hey, now he's turning his back on Obamacare, pre-existing conditions, everybody loves them, and Trump even realizes that everybody loves them, and so he said, yes, we're going to be the party of health plan. We're going to protect pre-existing conditions.
Which surprised a lot of
where's
Republicans.
the plan? How are you going to do that?
It surprised a lot of his own party who said, what are you talking about? I mean, who indicated, what are you talking about? And I think some wags this past week said it's probably better if the Democrats just get off the collusion thing altogether now. It's a loser. And let's get on to health care now. He threatens to take away your health care. It's
not like they don't have enough to work with, even without collusion or obstruction of justice. The Trump administration and Trump himself, it's a never-ending cavalcade of misery and mistakes. Everything they do wrong. Everything they do wrong. Betsy DeVos goes out there and just cuts all funding for the Special Olympics as though no one's going to notice.
Put that back in. I overruled my people.
Exactly. Trump knows.
He throws her under the. I think threw her under the bus.
Yeah, and then Trump himself, even though he understands public opinion well enough not to do that or to roll that back.
Did he throw her under the short bus in this?
I have
situation?
no.
But you know what?
Don't go there.
Don't go there. No. Okay. Then Trump turns around and says, "I'm going to literally close the border with Mexico next week," and just throws that out there as though he understands in any way what that would entail. And then, oh my God! I mean,
can he do it?
No, he literally can't do it. Physically do it. Yeah, he would need a wall. No, he is so unaware of the practical realities of what trade is like. He just doesn't understand international trade in any way, and nor do all the sycophants who he watches on Fox News, guys like Lou Dobbs who cheer him on and go, yeah, close the border. And you know what? If they're not cooperative in allowing you to close the border and helping you and putting additional men on their side to prevent people from crossing into your country, which they're never going to do, Lou Dobbs says, well, just march 100 feet into Mexico and decide that's America now and move the border. And everybody goes, Lou Dobbs, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And you know what? It's an echo chamber of every talking head on Fox News talking straight to Trump, Trump making policy with his mouth, running his mouth on TV and Twitter, and then Congress and his administration have to run around and scramble to figure out what it even means.
You may have missed his campaign. He gave a speech in Grand Rapids, I believe it was Grand Rapids this past week.
Michigan, okay.
and Ann Arbor, I think it was Grand Rapids, and started talking about the Great Lakes, how deep the Great Lakes were. They're really deep. You know, that's. I mean, they are, it was very. It was.
You're kidding. The president was talking about how deep the Great Lakes are.
Yes, and praising them on their deepness. This is after, though, he started praising. He says, "We like Fox News." Something about we like Fox News, and he said, "Sean, we like Sean. We like." I think he mentioned Rush.
Yeah.
Although Rush is not on Fox, interestingly.
What about Tucker? Didn't he mention Tucker?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
And Laura and Judge Janine. And
bring her back.
And then he says, she's back on this week. She's back on this week. Fox, suspended her for a week or two, whatever it was. And
apparently, on this Obamacare thing, apparently the president's folks argued long and hard against him coming out in favor of the total repeal of Obamacare. Yeah. And they pointed out that this would give the Democrats a big issue going into 2020 because people really love the idea of pre-existing conditions being out of there. You know, you show up, you're half dead, you want insurance. Of course we'll give you insurance. We don't care if you're half dead and it's going to cost $3 million to keep you alive for the next 6 months. That's the way, that's the new normal for insurance, but not according to Trump because, I'm getting rid of Obamacare. Now, when he says we're going to help protect pre-existing conditions, do you have any idea how he could do that? What kind of plan he might have, short of Obamacare simply saying we're going to protect? Now, the thing about health insurance is that people love free stuff, and they love the idea of not being turned down because of a pre-existing condition. But when pollsters say, oh, by the way, it's going to cost double or triple or whatever through taxes, then they back off. And secondly, when the pollsters say, and by the way, a lot of people say that private insurance should be abolished as part of health care reform, that's when people freak out because people kind of like the idea of going to their own health insurance company, picking which coverages they want.
The vast majority of Americans get their health insurance coverage through their
group coverage, right?
Yeah, which means they don't have a choice of company anyway. They don't actually have like a
no, my wife has Kaiser. My wife has Kaiser.
You can pick and choose some coverages.
Right. Yeah, you do, but your company is the one that picks between insurance companies. And if private health insurance were abolished or even severely restricted or whatever, changed in some form, you'd still have a choice of the different types of coverage and how much you would pay for it if it existed, or it'd be free for different folks, but with different coverages amounts for different folks. But it really is amazing. It's shockingly good how good the Republicans generally are, and Trump specifically is. You can get a crowd of people riled up at a rally and excited and cheering in favor of health insurance companies. And as soon as one of those people goes around and interacts with their health insurance company and pays a deductible or buys a policy, they hate it with all their being. They hate the whole system, and yet you can get somebody to speak on principle. That's a great appeal.
Nobody likes to be ripped off, and some people feel they are ripped off by insurance companies. Nobody likes to be overcharged. Some people feel that way. But ultimately, people like freedom. Yeah. They like the idea of being able to pick and choose how they get covered, whether it's car insurance or life insurance or whatever. Yeah. And the single-payer approach takes that freedom away. And if you talk to Kamala Harris and if you talk to AOC, they're talking about abolishing private health insurance, as many countries have done in Western Europe and so on. That, I think, is the area where Trump can make a lot of progress.
You're absolutely right on that.
Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk about the Jussie Smollet controversy still simmering, as well as Michael Avenatti's really bad week here on the Royal Oak Show. Stay with us.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show. Hi, everybody. Michael Horn from CRNTalk.com. You know, we provide you with the best in talk radio. 8 channels of talk radio, from radio on the left, radio on the right, sports talk, business talk, religious talk, Spanish talk, you name it, we've got talk radio for you. All at CRNTalk.com. Well, now we'll bring you video as well as audio. That's right. Watch your favorite shows like The Robert Conrad Show, The Fred Dreyer Program, What's Cooking Today, What's Cooking on Wine, The Lounge, and so many other shows in video right at our website, CRNTalk.com. You can also watch us on Roku. Just search CRN Talk, and you can watch us on Roku on any TV anywhere in the world. Also on Facebook Live. Go to Facebook.com/CRN Digital Talk. Facebook.com/CRN Digital Talk. Roku, search CRN Talk. Check us out on Tiki Live and at CRNTalk.com. video for you talk fans, all from CRN Talk.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
Hi, everyone. This is Fred Dreyer telling you about my favorite Italian restaurant. It's Angelo's and Vinci's in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's has the best pasta, the best seafood, the best salad, spaghetti, lasagna, and the most incredible pizza. And the chicken is delicious. Marsala, piccata, cacciatore, parmigiana, and more. For desserts, try our spumoni or our tiramisu, my favorite, flown in fresh from Italy. And the cannolis and the zeppolis are out of this world. Open for lunch and dinner. And don't miss the Sunday champagne brunch, just $23.95. Are you kidding me? It's all up the road from Disneyland at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's, like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. Call 714-879-4022 or visit us online at angeloandvincis.com.
Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries and our millennial correspondent.
I got my mindset.
George Harrison is here.
He's got his mindset
he'll be in
on
later
He
to
can't
talk.
really be here. He's looking down on us from Beatle heaven. So
They have their own heaven? Must be lonely.
before we get to moron of the decade, perhaps, Michael Avenatti, we're going to talk about our first candidate for moron of the week. This is a guy who showed up to get his bags at baggage claim. John Greenwood is his name, in Daytona, Florida. They've got a carousel, typical carousel
Yeah,
to Florida
normal, yeah.
at the airport. No
Did
problem
he
there.
Pick up the wrong bag by accident?
No,
I
he,
hate airport
tore
carousels. I
tore
hate
off
them.
all of his clothes. Naked man at airport causing chaos at baggage claim. Well, what is it with people taking their clothes off these days? All sorts of.
He wanted to make sure he had his clothes packed in his bag,
Smart.
which was on the carousel.
Maybe.
And,
Yeah.
Well, actually, the flip side of that, there was a story a couple of months ago about how a guy wanted to avoid paying the baggage charge.
Right.
So he wore about 12 sets of clothes, one on top of the other. I imagine the last one was a little tight.
Tight?
Yeah.
A little tight.
Anyway, this guy went the other way.
They had to
He got through
get an
TSA?
ambulance when he landed from heat stroke.
Yeah.
Heathrow
So-
Airport in London.
We're in Volusia County, Florida, near
very much.
Daytona. I'd
You're
never
old.
heard of Volusia. Our pals in Florida.
All the
would be
best
able to-
naked man stories come out of
Yeah,
Volusia.
Rob Marenko probably could tell us about that.
Yeah.
So the guy enters the airport carrying a book bag. He ducks into a restroom that was under construction. I'm not sure why that's pertinent. But he emerged naked without the bag, so he left the bag there. He goes to the
Nobody's
baggage
thinking about the
carousel.
bag. Where's the bag?
He's going to the carousel area, and he starts to yell about having explosives.
that's
Now, he
bad.
wasn't actually totally nude. He was wearing black socks. And he decides that this is overwhelming, so he sits on the ground crying with his head in his hands and his black socks on his feet. And the deputy runs up, "Get on your belly! Get on your belly!" Maybe it was like that Mike Myers movie,
Get in my belly. Get in your
Yeah,
belly,
maybe
yeah.
there was a
Get in my belly.
miscommunication. But he says, "Get on your belly." Greenwood does not submit. The officer yells again, "I'm not telling you again. I will tase you." So that's got to be a serious threat when you got no clothes.
Yeah.
Because there's
Those
nothing-
electrodes are going right there. They're going to hook in.
The taser then comes out, and the man gets zapped.
Oh, no.
Greenwood screams in agony. "Stop resisting," says the officer. "What are you on, man?"
A valid question.
The guy starts babbling, and then the law enforcement speculates maybe it's Xanax. And so
Wow, this is a diagnosis being given here.
Yeah. Then
Mid-tase.
Greenwood says, "I'm naked, bro. Get me the hell out of here." And they did get him out in handcuffs. So I'm thinking,
But
he's
did
a-
he get his? The suitcase back?
I mean,
I don't know.
There's a long tradition of streaking at sports games. And
this is similar to that.
This
only
is
with
kind
a
of
few
like
twists.
that. It goes around and around. Very
so
twisty.
he's a good, solid candidate for Moron of the Week. We're going to have another candidate at the end of the show, and we'll vote on who the stupidest one is of all. So I guess Jussie Smollet, one could say he's kind of stupid. I mean, or maybe the state's attorney. I guess they don't call him district attorney in Chicago.
No, it's state's attorney.
Even though they're basically the DA.
Yeah.
I mean, she's in a heap of trouble,
Yeah,
isn't
she is.
I mean, she drops the charges. She says, well, if you forfeit your, how much
Bail
was
or
it?
bond.
Was
Yeah.
it a $10,000 bond?
I don't know.
And the whole world is coming down on her. I mean, Rahm Emanuel, he's not exactly, a right-wing
No.
conservative. No, he's Obama's guy. The police chief of the city is absolutely livid. And the thing that really gets me about it is that it's not like he is innocent. The prosecutors agree he's guilty of staging this. They just felt that he was overcharged. Well, he probably was. They point out he has no criminal history, which is an important fact. 16 felonies
Till now.
seems, until now, seems kind of, well, actually, now that they've sealed it, he's clean. But anyway, for the prosecutors to drop it, I mean, did they not realize the whole world was
still watching?
Still watching, and are going to be really critical of him?
There's some Michelle Obama connection. Did you realize the state's attorney has
I didn't
some
know about
connection
that.
with Michelle Obama?
Here's the connection.
Okay.
Michelle Obama had an aide. I don't remember the woman's name,
Yeah, I
but
don't
she
know.
was a close aide of Michelle Obama. And this aide reportedly contacted the state's attorney's office to say, essentially in the words of Donald Trump talking to James Comey about Michael Flynn, this is a really good guy. Can you make this thing go away? That's essentially word for word what Michelle's aide. Now, I like to keep up on the new memoirs, the various books coming out. And I haven't read Michelle's memoir yet, but I am going to read it because I want to read her chapter about how she interfered with the Jussie Smollett prosecution.
Weird.
Yeah, that will not be coming to a bookstore near you.
Maybe
probably.
not. I could be wrong about that. But it's just so astounding that
Very
this
strange.
guy is still claiming that he's innocent. And in fact, 32 degrees below zero, the polar vortex. I happen to know from knowing about how your millennial friends order in every bit
single
of their
meal,
food.
yeah.
I don't think Jussie Smollett was going to be walking down
I think
Michigan
Jussie's-
Avenue in Chicago looking for a meatball sandwich
He's
at 2
probably
a.m.
got
on the
Postmates.
coldest
Yeah.
day of the planet's
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
So
Pretty weird.
Yeah,
Pretty weird.
It is very weird. Well, if you think that was weird, you ain't heard nothing yet, because Michael Avenatti can top Jussie Smollett.
Can't wait.
And when we
Jolson.
come back, we're going to dissect Avenatti's trouble. Stick with
We'll
us.
be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show.
Were you scammed into signing a timeshare contract? And did you miss the part that said you have to pay for your great idea? Not only for the rest of your life, but when you're not here anymore, you get to pass this turkey onto your family for them to pay for the rest of their lives. Thanks, Dad. Don't burden your family down the road, and don't be stuck with expensive timeshare payments forever. Get out of your bad idea timeshare contract guaranteed, or pay nothing. Call Resort Release today and learn for free how their timeshare exit team can help you legally exit your timeshare contract. They've helped thousands of people, and they're A+ rated with a BBB. So if you feel scammed, get mad and get out of your expensive timeshare contract right now, guaranteed. Call NOW.
800-716-9903. 800-716-9903. 800-716-9903. That's 800-716-9903. Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Newsflash, the president has changed the tax laws, and now you may be able to pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the tax doctor can help you pay the IRS as little as possible allowed by law. There are new tax laws for business owners, the self-employed, even W-2 workers. If you have a back tax problem or a few years of unfilled returns, new help to save you money is now here. Call right now to see how the new tax laws can help you. Plus, right now, we'll waive the consultation fee and give you a free tax savings report. Attention business owners, the self-employed, and W-2 workers. Make this free call to the tax doctor now and learn how to take advantage of the new tax laws that may help you pay the IRS less. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
Picture yourself and your loved one saying, I do, with a stunning sunset behind you and the sound of the waves gently lapping the shore. We can make that dream wedding come true. Ka'anapali Beach Hotel offers oceanfront and ocean view venues for a perfect backdrop to all your wedding memories. Choose from our wedding and vow renewal packages or let us customize a ceremony just for you. Call 661-0011 or visit ka'anapaliweddings.com and let us help you create that once-in-a-lifetime occasion.
When you really want Italian food, you've got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Seekers of luscious and appetizing gustatorial pursuits, indulge your fancies with steaks so absolutely yum-yum. Vegetarians have forsaken kale and Pilates and never look back. Fish specialties so fresh and delicious and chosen by King Neptune himself, and relish Columbo's Italian family specialties so delectable you'll be yelling out, bravo, bravo! And let's not forget Columbo's world-famous meatballs, and you've got to try their breakfast pizza. Oh, and jazz every night. Service that's friendly, not fawning, and at a price that'll keep you coming back. That's Columbo's, that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's, Mangia.
Destination South Point. 11 great restaurants, bingo, bowling, movies, race books, sports books, spa, live entertainment, oversized rooms, and the rates unbeatable. The South Point Las Vegas. Book now. Online at southpointcasino.com or call 866-791-7626. southpointcasino.com or call 866-791-7626. At the South Point Las Vegas, you're always a winner.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken.
Are you the
Jeffries.
happiest girl in the whole USA?
Donna Fargo is a constant presence on this show, and our millennial correspondent, Connor Oakes. We're going to talk about Michael Avenatti, but just off the air, we were saying apparently a bunch of mayors running for president, people kind of below the radar, and yet they're impressing people, and I'm sure it's great for them to get some publicity, and maybe down the road they'll run for Senate or something like that, or who knows, maybe lightning will strike and they'll become vice president. But I mean, the idea of putting yourself out there, whether you're Garcetti or the mayor of this little
South
town
Bend,
in Indiana,
yeah.
or Miramar, Florida, or whatever it is. I mean, really, what's the point? Isn't that kind of audacious and arrogant?
Yeah,
of course. I won 1,700 votes from the fine members of the parish last year, and doggone it, I think I can do the big job. I
got to tell you, Garcetti. Okay, I'm sorry, Eric. I love you, babe, but kind of vanilla. But
isn't it
I kind of like
be like a governor or a senator before you take a serious run at that.
You don't have to be a mayor.
A reality show guy that says you're fired.
That's exactly my point. Is when you're living in a world post Donald Trump where you literally have to have negative qualifications to be president. Donald Trump checks every box should be automatically disqualified for president, and therefore anybody who's got literally anything is already 100 yards ahead of him in the race.
Yeah,
the bar has so been lowered that you don't even have to say, okay, well, I'm going to be Ronald Reagan, and I'm going to give a good speech, drum up support in the Republican Party. I'm going to jump to being governor of California, and that's a back way in past being, a real major.
It could open
figure.
the door to somebody else, and maybe Mayor Pete Buttigieg, who was the openly gay mayor of, and I admit that really may not have much to do with anything anymore.
It's so sad we don't know how to pronounce
but
the
he
names
was
of these presidential candidates.
I got to tell you, in my opinion, he was great last night on Bill Maher.
He is very impressive.
He may have a great future. I just think it's so weird.
No, he's not, and he's kind of charismatic. Now, does he have all the answers? I don't think so.
But
it was interesting to see somebody new.
Yeah. This is the biggest and the toughest and most important job. Lives are on the line, lives in the balance in the world, and for people to have the arrogance of thinking they can do it. Now, Trump really being the exception, it's remarkable that he made it. Some would say it's remarkable that with his background and lack of qualifications, our economy is gangbusters. We basically are at peace around the world. We subdued ISIS. You've got a situation where the judges that he has appointed are pleasing a huge chunk of the population. I mean, by on many standards, he is a big success. But when you look at American history, he and Eisenhower and Grant, who were military heroes, I think are the only three presidents who didn't have a solid government background.
Washington doesn't count.
Washington, too. You're right.
You kind of implied that Trump has a military background.
Oh, no. I wasn't saying he had a military background. I was saying
maybe Cadet
and Eisenhower and Grant don't have the governmental service political background, because when Eisenhower was elected, he didn't.
No, but Ike was a war hero.
He was exactly, but that doesn't necessarily qualify you to be president. But
according to a lot of people, he won the war. I mean, in those days,
he and MacArthur and the other generals and Patton and so on were fabulous.
But Eisenhower, if I remember correctly, was beloved.
Oh,
really, beloved.
Absolutely.
Oh, of course.
That's why he
Patton and MacArthur
became president.
Probably not, but
twice.
That's going back away.
MacArthur wanted to be president, but they couldn't get it done, partly because he wasn't beloved.
And Truman fired him.
Yeah. So let's talk Michael Avenatti. Okay. It's got to be one of the most bizarre stories. I mean, talk about a fall from grace.
Yeah.
Here was a guy who was a hero to many people.
Yeah.
Randy Rainbow said he wanted to invite him to the prom, I believe, as part of one of Randy's songs. Check it out on YouTube, folks. Randy Rainbow. So here you have a guy who was toying with running for president, and not everybody laughed at him. He was a hero to folks who wanted to take Trump down. And then the questions started to circulate about, bankruptcies, and his partners are suing him, and oops, his partner gets a $12 million judgment, and Avenatti seems not to be paying, and so people are thinking, we'll cut him some slack because, he's a warrior for justice.
And his number one client dropped him.
She's dropped him, and then Kavanaugh came along, and Kavanaugh had a bunch of different accusers, and setting Dr. Blasey Ford aside, there was one accuser that was a real flake. I believe she was the one that said that there were multiple rapes on boats or something just totally wild and unverified, and what do you know? Michael Avenatti was the lawyer who represented her. So now, last Monday, really, really bad day. Talk about bi-coastal, not in a good way. On the same exact day, federal prosecutors in New York go after him and arrest him for extorting money from Nike, and federal prosecutors in Los Angeles go after him for cheating his client.
I got to tell you, the Nike thing to me is really bizarre.
Oh, it's amazing.
And because Nike is a huge corporation, so if you're accusing Nike of messing around, and I think this is with the NCAA basketball playoffs going on too in the background, I mean, you better have your ducks in a row, and you better know what you're doing.
And he may even have ducks in a row, because big companies like Nike have gotten into trouble, Adidas and so on, paying money when they shouldn't. There are rules, and sometimes big shoe companies, athletic companies, break the rules. Apparently what Avenatti did was he went to Nike and he said, look, I am going to blow the whistle on you paying $72,000 illegally to some folks and cheating a coach. And if you don't pay me $15 to $20 million to do an internal investigation and be your lawyer, then
that's a good way to cover a bribe. Yeah.
And then I will hold a press conference, and your market capitalization will go down $10 billion. You pay me, or else I do.
And he was caught on wire, wasn't he? Like
So the Nike people, just like Bezos went to the authorities, and he got the National Enquirer. Nike goes to the authorities. They put a wire on. They actually videotape Avenatti and the rest of them. And now he's been arrested for extortion.
He should have known better.
The separate charge in Los Angeles, by the way, was Avenatti represented a plaintiff. The plaintiff won $1.6 million in a settlement. The $1.6 million comes into Avenatti. Avenatti says to the client, "Oh boy, they're really slow paying that money. It'll be in a couple of months." And uses the money to prop up his coffee business. 2 months pass.
Coffee business.
2 months pass, and Avenatti says to him, "Well, they still haven't paid the money. I tell you what, $1.6 million. I'll loan you $160,000, 10%. It'll tide you over." He loaned his client the guy's own money while he stole his money. So the feds have him for that. But let's talk about the Nike thing. It sounds like blackmail. Remember the guy blackmailed Letterman by saying, oh, here's a screenplay. It's all about a talk show host that cheats on his wife, wink, wink. I'm going to sell it to the studios if you don't pay me $1 million.
And Letterman was great, and he went public with it.
So extortion or blackmail is where you have a threat or a demand that if you don't do something, I will
hurt you.
Hurt you, disclose embarrassing stuff. So they've theoretically got Avenatti. But let me ask you this. How is what Avenatti did all that different from Avenatti going to a defendant and saying, I have a plaintiff who's been ripped off by you. You pay $20 million to settle this case, or else I will file this suit. And the whole world will know because I'll have a press conference about what's in the suit later.
Press conference, yeah.
Now, how is that not blackmail or extortion? And how is
did he extort the president? Is that what you're saying?
No, the important difference there is the operating difference is that on one hand, the lawyer is saying that I am showing up to Nike headquarters and I'm saying, Nike, pay my client money that you already owe that client in the form of damage that you have done to him that you legally must repay him. If you hit somebody with your car and the guy breaks his leg, before the lawsuit's even brought, you owe that guy his medical bills. And filing a lawsuit or hiring Avenatti to go chase him down, that's just you enforcing a right that this person already had. Avenatti specifically on tape, it was the best part of the whole tape, and I love that you bring this up for this great reason. On tape, Nike, they know exactly what they're doing. These are smart lawyers. They know they're nailing Avenatti down. They know him on wire. And so they confer and they come back and they go, Avenatti, okay, why is it that we have to pay you $15 million to do an internal investigation of Nike? Instead, why don't we just pay a little less money to your client who you're saying we harmed? And Avenatti goes back and talks to mystery other lawyer, Girardi.
No. Mark Garagos.
Sorry, Garagos. I mixed up their names every time. Mark Garagos, not Girardi. Sorry about that. He talks to him and probably, maybe, who knows who it is. Allegedly, exactly. And then he comes back and he says, I don't think it'd be wise for you to pay my client, given my client's role in this, i.e., my client's a crook. It would look bad if you paid him. You got to pay me. That is why it's extortion.
In other words, I'm not a crook.
So you're right. I think there is a good distinction between just threatening to file a theoretically, potentially valid lawsuit and the extortion that he committed. Let's talk about the Mark Garagos situation because it was weird. The indictment mentions another lawyer, calls him CC1 or something. For whatever reason, they don't want to mention the name.
Individual 2.
And the Wall Street Journal almost immediately reports, it's Mark Garagos.
Right.
And a bunch of other outlets have confirmed that as well. So I guess the first question is, is it really Mark Garagos? Has there been any confirmation? Secondly, if it is Mark, why haven't they charged him along with Avenatti? Did he do something a little differently? But then the other question in my mind is, why would Mark Garagos do this or have anything to do with this slimeball Avenatti? Now, Avenatti, we know why he would break the rules.
Right.
He's in a $15 million hole with all of his partners in the bankruptcies and the fraud counts and so on. So he really needed to strike big and get some money and take care of his problems. So that's his motive for going off the rails. But Garagos is successful.
Do we know is there an update on that? Or
I haven't heard anything. No one knows.
I haven't heard
the Wall Street Journal and others say it is Mark Garagos, who is the other guy who was depicted in the indictment as the partner for Avenatti. In meetings with him.
So how would the Wall Street Journal find out? I mean, that's kind of weird.
They have their way.
Right.
Well, I know they have their way.
To me, my wild speculation would be it's possible that Garagos' involvement in this is that Garagos legitimately had the client with a real claim or found the client or referred the client to Avenatti because Garagos didn't handle that kind of law or didn't want to handle this case for some reason. And then, he gets wrapped up. And that, to me, would explain why he's not named in this thing, because maybe he didn't do anything wrong, or maybe he didn't do much wrong.
He hasn't denied, he hasn't said anything.
Well, why would he? You never would, even if you were totally innocent.
Now, what do you do if you're Garagos? I mean, what do you do if you're him? Well, we don't know if he did anything.
Right, exactly. So, you have to live through this nightmare.
We're totally in the dark.
Yeah.
And the fact that he hasn't said anything is, I guess, a little weird because people tend to come out and pronounce their
They shouldn't.
Innocence.
Innocent people should be quiet, too.
Yeah. So I got a big question for you guys. Should I move to Australia?
Yes.
That's my question.
Yeah. They have big spiders, kangaroos that kick you.
Yeah, but here's my reason.
Oh, wait, those are reasons not to move.
The Democratic apocalypse is coming in 2020. That's what I'm worried about as a Republican. And let me tell you what I'm worried about.
You're a Republican?
I am. I'm a registered Republican. I feel like I'm at an AA meeting. My name is Royal, and I'm a Republican.
Hi, Royal.
So here's the deal. In
But who's your sponsor,
2020,
by the way?
there's an interesting lineup of senatorial candidates on the ballot. 22 22 Republicans, and only 12 Democrats. And the reason for that is this class of 2020, these are folks who were elected in 2014, which was a really bad year for Obama.
Tea Party.
It was the last off year before Obama left office.
Yeah.
And so when you have the big Republican tsunami then, they've got to stand for re-election. So the Democrats have a lot of opportunities.
Tons.
And so the betting is maybe they'll take over the Senate.
Guaranteed.
And they'll probably stick with the House. That means if the Democrats come through with their low-hanging fruit and Liz Warren or Bernie Sanders or somebody like that gets elected, oh my gosh, and here's where the apocalypse comes. And here's why I'm getting...
that ain't happening.
Let's paint a doomsday scenario.
Here's why I'm getting on the boat to Australia.
Okay.
Number one, Nancy Pelosi is saying 16-year-olds will vote.
Right.
So that's going to be a gigantic boost for Democrats.
I've met some smart 12-year-olds, but let's go down.
She'll wait a few more years for that. Secondly, they're going to get rid of the Electoral College.
That one actually definitely should happen.
Third, we're going to make District of Columbia, we're going to give them 2 senators.
No
Doggone
taxation
it,
without
they're American
representation.
citizens. They're keeping the government going.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't they have 2 senators?
Exactly.
Plus, let's have 2 senators for Guam and Virgin Islands, where America's day begins, right?
Yeah.
So then they're going to put 15 people on the U.S. Supreme Court. That's what they're seriously talking about, packing the court to the tune, and that's what FDR tried to do. And the only reason he couldn't do it in the 30s is his own party said, that's too much, Franklin.
Right.
Well, you think anybody's going to say that's too much, Liz Warren? No, I don't think the Democrats are going to have a problem with that.
Where does it say there has to be, how many members was 7 on the court?
There are 9, and there is nothing.
I think I know how many members are on the
Yeah,
Senate.
it can go up and down. The Constitution doesn't say thou shalt have 9.
So it just happens to be 9 by
correct.
custom?
They just said establish a court.
So getting back to my question,
you can't indict a sitting president?
So shouldn't I just go to Australia? Because if all that stuff happens, and by stuff I mean stuff, don't you think that would mean Republicans would not be happy living in America?
You know, I think they'd survive. I think they'd get over it.
Now tell me, I want to go back to Ken's point. You think I'm being a nervous Nelly, this chicken little the sky's falling. You don't think that all 3 chambers of the government
well, by then
are going to be controlled by the Democrats?
But you know what? But the good part is the Green New Deal will be in effect by then.
Oh, yeah, good point.
And except the only problem
we'll
is
all be
when
carrying solar
as
power.
As the president says,
$1 trillion here. I'll just write it down.
As the president says, when the wind blows, when the wind stops blowing, we won't be able to watch television.
That's true.
That's the only thing.
That's how wind power works. That's why you can't use solar power.
And you can't have cows, and you can't have cow emissions.
Cows
or
can't fart, so we'll attach big balloons to their butts, and we'll collect all the farts, and then we'll burn those for fuel.
Yeah, you can't say fart on CRN.
Oh, dang.
Oops.
Well, we've been assuming that Trump is low-hanging fruit, but I mean, isn't it true that if the economy, by chance, it probably won't still be doing as well as it is now, but isn't it true that if the economy continues to do as well as it's doing now, and if Trump really does get past all of this Russia stuff, I mean, a lot of people are saying that he's got a really decent chance at re-election.
I mean, incumbents always do, and people don't want to rock the boat when the economy is going well. That's for sure. I think the real question is the economy going well for the majority of Americans? Do Americans feel their mortgage eating too large a portion of their salary?
Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago, to quote Reagan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but you know,
our wages.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a second term. No, I think he might be very formidable.
I would be surprised, but I would not be knock me down with a feather shot.
You guys have made me feel better. I'm glad you talked this through, because I was about to order passage on the SS,
the slow boat to China.
The Queen Elizabeth to Australia.
Okay,
because they speak English down there, sort of.
Sure.
When we come back, are you intimidated to go to the gym? A large percentage of Americans are very intimidated to go to their 24-hour fitness. We'll tell you why. We're going to have our second Moron of the Week candidate. So stick with us here on The Royal Oak Show.
We'll be back on CRN with The Royal Oak Show. Hey, get a good night's sleep with MyPillow. I've seen the ads for years, and now I've got MyPillow. I ordered one. I ordered two, and I've been sleeping on them. I'm a back and side sleeper, and when I tried MyPillow, my sleepless nights are gone. I used to wake up in the middle of the night. Not anymore. You don't have to adjust your pillow. MyPillow adjusts to the shape you need and want. You toss out those flat, worn-out pillows. You sleep really well all night long. 100% machine washable and dryable, made in the USA, a 10-year warranty, and you can get 4 MyPillows. That's right, 4 for half the price. You get 2 premium MyPillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows, plus you get free shipping. You got nothing to lose. Try them out. They're guaranteed. Go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code WINNER. That's promo code WINNER, MyPillow.com, promo code WINNER, or call the direct phone number, 800-513-3363. 800-513-3363, or go to MyPillow.com, promo code WINNER.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
Hi, everyone. This is Fred Dreyer telling you about my favorite Italian restaurant. It's Angelo's and Vinci's in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's has the best pasta, the best seafood, the best salad, spaghetti, lasagna, and the most incredible pizza. And the chicken is delicious. Marsala, piccata, cacciatore, parmigiana, and more. For desserts, try our spumoni or our tiramisu, my favorite, flown in fresh from Italy. And the cannolis and the zeppolis are out of this world. Open for lunch and dinner. And don't miss the Sunday champagne brunch, just $23.95. Are you kidding me? It's all up the road from Disneyland at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's, like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. Call 714-879-4022 or visit us online at angeloandvincis.com.
Welcome back to the Law Love Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries, our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. So, moron of the week.
Yeah.
We have a candidate from earlier in the show, a man who decided to take all his clothes off before going to the luggage, the carousel at the Daytona airport, and they ended up getting tased. It's always awkward, I'm sure, to have your mother see you on the news being nude and tased at the airport. So here's our second candidate. This guy, I think he's going to be a good competitor for the naked guy. He's a physician. The patient was scheduled to have what's called a cystoscopy. It's a bladder inspection with a camera. Yeah, it sounds unpleasant, but maybe there was a little local or general anesthetic.
One
so
hopes.
The guy wouldn't be too unhappy about the whole situation. Well, stuff happens, as I mentioned earlier, and they mixed up this patient with a patient who was scheduled to have a circumcision. Ooh. And so they circumcised this guy instead of just kind of checking out his bladder.
Well, didn't they already check to see if he was already circumcised, maybe?
I'm betting he wasn't already.
Given that it was performed.
Yeah,
that
because
seems
if
like
you
a hard
do a
mistake
double
to
circumcision, there may not be anything left. And then you've really got a lawsuit.
I'm not a medical doctor, Ken. But
and you don't play
nor
on
am I a
television.
mathematician. But subtracting 0 from wait, I don't know.
We remain deeply and genuinely sorry to the patient involved, and we've personally apologized. This is the message from the Moira Durbridge, Director of Safety and Risk at Leicester's Hospital. So this, of course, happened in the UK. As part of the National Health Service, the socialized medicine.
Probably unrelated.
Okay. Did he write him back and say thanks for the tip?
Probably unrelated.
Well, I'm glad to see you're able to work through the grief, Ken.
Yeah.
With a little humor.
So what happened to this? So what was that? That was it.
All we know
so
is
who are the morons and the surgeons or
the surgeon?
The doctor is the moron.
I'm going to say the guy who anything. I would say anything groin related. Maybe triple check. Maybe triple check. Right? Maybe triple check.
Turn your head and cough.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So for me, the winner is hands down the doc or whoever's job it is to triple check who didn't. The guy, goes nuts, takes his clothes off at an airport. Airports drive me crazy too. It happens.
I'm with you. I'm going to vote that way. How about you, Ken?
Oh,
Who's
yeah, might as well make it,
Yeah, we'll make it a medical malpractice.
The would-be Moyle.
Unanimity. So there's a new thing. It's called Gymtimidation. Gymtimidation.
Gymtimidation.
As opposed to intimidation. Mm-hmm. And it turns out they've surveyed 2,000 Americans, found that about 50% expressed fear of working out in front of others. I don't quite get that. 32% of respondents report feelings of intimidation when working out near someone who is in excellent shape. I don't know. I'm not in great shape. If I were at a gym and I saw some guy that looked like Schwarzenegger, I mean, he's spent $5,000 in the gym. He's earned it.
Yeah.
Why would
let him alone.
Resent him or be intimidated?
I absolutely get it. I think working out is one of the times in our lives when we're sort of the most vulnerable, not to sort of danger, but the most vulnerable in terms of we're there
because you're in a Speedo? Or,
yeah.
Or because you're naked at the Daytona Carousel?
Exactly, doing squats. Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean vulnerable?
You're vulnerable because you're not made up and perfect, right? You don't look the way you want to look. Our idealized self is like the thing that we wear to a wedding or on a date, and we're all sort of collected and put together. At the gym,
well, you don't
might
go
be
there.
in
Do you go to the gym to meet meet women and stuff?
No, it's just that you're being observed, sort of.
Maybe some guys do. I don't know.
No, you're in your chrysalis, right? You haven't yet emerged as a beautiful butterfly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be at the gym if you were happy with how you looked. You're there because you want to change
or if you're
something about yourself.
Schwarzenegger, you love the way you look. You just want to stay that way or look better.
And that's who I'm afraid of at the gym.
17%. No, that's his housekeeper that should be afraid.
Oh!
17% say they grow intimidated when exercising in front of someone of the opposite sex. 31% had pangs of anxiety when thinking about trying to get in shape in general. 48% intimidated by the sheer number of fitness workouts and classes offered at their gym. Come on, folks, man up here. There are lots of things to be worried about in this world. Climate change.
Yeah.
But worried about other people
no more cows
looking at you.
All right.
I don't believe it. Hey, this was great. Terrific show, guys. We covered a lot of fantastic ground. See you next week on the Royal Oak Show. Have a great week.
Which was most appropriate because that was your theme.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio show sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more. Entertainment and lifestyle programming like The Robert Conrad Show, The What's Cooking Show, and The What's Cooking on Wine Show, all in true CRN HD audio. Sports, business, travel, food, wine, politics, there is something for everyone, and it's all available in CRN High Definition Sound. Log on to www.CRN Talk for listings and information on all your favorite shows. That's www.crntalk.com.
The radio channels. The radio channels. CRN.
It's time now for the polka party. This is Dick Sinclair. Welcome to the program, and away we go.
Saturday night,
your partner round and round, doing the polka Saturday night. Swing her low and swing her high, fling your worries to the sky, doing the polka Saturday night. Saturday night, time to do the polka tonight. Saturday night, dance with me the polka tonight. Come rain or come shine, I know you'll be mine. We'll dance till church bells chime. Hey, it's Saturday night, we'll do the polka Saturday night.
Well, Saturday night, and hello everybody, this is Dick Sinclair. Welcome to the Polka Party. That's right, every Saturday from 4 until 6 Pacific Time, we're here for the polkas for a couple of hours. We hope that you'll tell your friends about it and everybody listen in, and we've got the polkas to make you feel like $1 million every weekend. So we've got plenty of polkas, and I sure hope that you'll tune in every weekend. Okay, let's move right along right now with a fella by the name of Bud Conti, and he's got this one. Bud Compte and his band right now from back in Ohio, and that was called Bud's Polka. I guess that's Bud, and that's the way he does it. Anyway, the polkas are playing today, and all right, now we move along right now with a fellow from Cleveland back in the old days. These are the polka cancers.
I was a painter, lived in the city. I had a model, very pretty. Ooh la 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 la, ooh la 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 la, ooh la 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 la. I bought her flowers, I bought her candy. All that she said was, thanks, they're dandy. Ooh la 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 la, ooh la 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 la, ooh la 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 la. Heavy romancing, she said a good book's more entrancing.